Now you see, hitting isn't scary, it's fun!
Yeah, it really is fun!
No! You try to dodge one!
What?
Kenichi!
Oh, hey! You almost killed the kid, and all you can say is, oh?
Please wake up!
No, dear, did he finally do it?
It looks like it.
Ah! Applejack held back, I promised! My fists were light as a feather! I barely even touched him!
Hey, guys, I think he killed Kenichi.
Calm down. I'm sure he's fine. With all the training he's been through, a single punch wouldn't... Begin cardiac compression. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Well, where am I?
See? It was nothing to worry about.
What's wrong with you people?
You believe that you are ninja? I grant you the honor of dying like a ninja. By my sword.
Just let her go.
Not before I kill you.
So, you want to be a ninja? Sekiro isn't like other Souls games, so from here on out, you might as well forget whatever skills you learned from them, because they don't apply here. And if this is your first Souls game, then congratulations, you might have an easier time since you don't have any muscle memory to overwrite. Unlike Souls, Sekiro isn't a game of patience. It's about forcing your will onto others. You could call this a game a combination of Dance Dance Revolution mixed with Hot Potato. Or a card game like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon or whatever the kids are into these days. It's a game of taking turns, or shall I say forcing turns. Another difference is that this isn't a game of builds. Every player has effectively the same build, but it is a game of different strategies. There are multiple solutions to every problem. So for this beginner's guide, I won't tell you the solution, but rather the rules in which to play by. From there, you can look at the tools you have and use the one that best suits your style. I'll also be assuming you know how all the mechanics work, such as posture, attack, and Makiri, so I won't be explaining how those work. Alright, let's begin. This will be your training opponent. This mook here is the lowest of the low, or at least one of the lowest of the low. You see that he attacked and I parried, and when that happened, he staggered. He began his turn, and because I parried his attack, I ended his turn. One more time. He attacks, I parry, I end his turn. Now it's my turn. He can't parry me, so he can't end my turn, and because I have no limit to my combo, I can keep attacking him for as long as I want. Yes, it's true you can parry your enemy until they die, and while that works on low-ranking enemies, that will become increasingly difficult as you progress. So this is your level 0 mook, and has taught you one thing: aggression. When it's your turn, you press your attack. Alright, he looks like a nice looking fella. Hey fella. He takes his turn and attack, and I parry. It's my turn now. Well, that's different. I attack, and while he blocked the first, he parried the second. My turn has ended, or rather, he just ended my turn. It's his turn again. Successful parry. My turn. His turn. And dead. Hopefully it's beginning to come together now. This back and forth makes up the combat loop for 80% of the enemies and bosses. The weakest enemies melt like putty from your attacks because they can't end your turn. And you will find enemies that can end your turn and retaliate. Master this loop, master this combat loop, and you master half the game. Master the loop. Now, not every enemy and boss will parry your second attack. They might parry you on your third or your fourth attack. They might not even parry at all, but press your advantage and take your turn. Attack until you get parried. Parry the counter, resume your attack. Master the combat loop. Just about 80% of the enemies and bosses in this game are this loop, plus some special attacks. Alright, let me introduce you to two ways Sekiro will try to trip you up. As far as I know, there's no names for it, but I call it the enhanced attack. In For Honor, if you throw out a light attack against someone's guard, the attack bounces off, just like how the attacks bounce off when they get parried. But an enhanced light continues even if it hits the guard. The same rules apply here. Now, let's see it in action. He takes his turn and attacks. I parry, but you see he doesn't stagger backwards. An enhanced attack. So even though my parry is successful, I can't take my turn just yet. In this case, I mess up the parry and only block the second before taking a crack on my noggin for the third. Now technically it's my turn, but I'm injured and I want to heal up first. Now you might be getting worried. If this is the case, how can I ever be certain when it is and isn't my turn to attack? And there it is, the challenge of Sekiro. But it's also why I'm trying to teach you in this manner. Most enemies and bosses, even if they use enhanced attacks, will fall into a predictable loop. If you stay in their face, they will continue doing the same pattern over and over. Meaning the only time you have to worry about these is when they suddenly try doing something that doesn't look like the regular combat loop. So, when you see them doing something you don't recognize, hold back and defend through whatever it is, and only resume when the attacking is over. Now, could you end their turn through an enhanced attack? Sure. And even today, I'm discovering new openings. But for now, just parry through the enhanced attack until their turn is ended. There are 3 concepts I want to touch upon: hyper armor attacks, dodge attacks, and spam punishes. Sometimes the enemy decides to get cheeky. Rather than end our turn, they force their own. The 2 ways they can do this is with a hyper armor attack or a dodge attack. If they have hyper armor, it doesn't matter that you hit them. They'll still throw their attack out. They'll take damage, but they don't get staggered or interrupted. And for a dodge attack, they throw themselves out of the way. They avoid damage and can throw out their own attacks. Put these together, and I call it the spam punish. Usually you need to get parried before you have to worry about being attacked, but spam punishes mean you have to stop your attack of your own accord. Good news is that spam punishes are slow, meaning you have a few whiffs before you have to react. 2 in early game, but only 1 in the late game. But regardless, you can see them coming. I named it the spam punish because if you aren't spamming, you'll see the attack coming and be able to react. If you are spamming, you'll get caught in the middle of an attack animation. Put these concepts together and you'll get plenty of ways the game tries to trip you up. So, we have the rules. Engage in the combat loop. If during their turn they attack in a manner that doesn't look like the combat loop, it's a special attack. It's likely a combo of enhanced attacks, so parry through it and take your turn when it's over. And if they suddenly wind up for an attack in the middle of your turn, it's a spam punish, so halt attacking and defend. So, let's put these lessons together. I take the initiative and take my turn to attack. He blocks, then dodges backward. I give a pause because I'm afraid that dodge is a dodge attack, but it's not, so I resume attacking. I'm actually too aggressive here. When I see he didn't flinch after getting hit, I should have realized he's winding up for a spam punish. Luckily, this is early game, so I get 2 hits and still have time to defend. And now we resume the loop. He parries me, it's his turn. I parry him, it's my turn. He tries to back dodge and recover posture, but my turn isn't over. You're not getting away. He tries to do a sweep, and I hit him because it's still my turn. You can see after the hit that I pause for a moment. It's because I'm not sure if his sweep is a spam punish. But it's not, so he staggers and I continue pressing the attack. You see here that I mistime my parry so that it's a block instead. It's still his turn, then. First health down. Let's back away from the wall so I get a better camera angle. Round 2, and he starts off with an attack that's not part of his combat loop. It must be an enhanced combo. Sure enough, I parry the first and he keeps going. Parry the second attack and he staggers. It's my turn now. He steps back and my sword whiffs. Whether this was a coincidence or a dodge attack, it is irrelevant. I stop attacking in case it's a spam punish. It's his turn. My turn. I get too aggressive. He parried my attack and yet I still try to continue. It was his turn, and he reminded me of that. I back up a bit so I can heal. I failed not one but 2 parries, so his turn continues. The last hit in that combo was an enhanced attack. Notice how he didn't stagger? But that was the last hit in his combo, so it doesn't matter. My turn. And finish. Let's try one more guy. A ninja against a samurai on a bridge. You can't get more Japanese than this. Your fault for hesitating. It's now my turn. He parried me. It's his turn. I mistime my parry, so it's just a block. He continues and looks like he's about to stab. I've Makiri'd him. My turn. I take my turn. He parries, so it's his turn. And he uses his turn on a stab.
Defeating you like this has no meaning.
So I said this encompasses 80% of the boss's enemies. But what about the last 20%? So this naked Shigoki here will be our training dummy. Notice how all his attacks are enhanced? And he has hyper armor as well. Believe it or not, you can still apply the same rules here. Remember, engage the combat loop. If during their turn they attack in a manner that doesn't look like the combat loop, it's a special attack. It's likely a combo of enhanced attacks, so parry through them, then take your turn. And if they suddenly wind up for an attack in the middle of your turn, it's a spam punish, so halt attacking and defend. I did say 80% of the enemies are this combat loop and some specials. These guys are all specials, but we can still apply the rules. Let's go. I see we're off to a smashing start. Well, since he's too stupid to come up here, I guess I'll go down there. Technically it's not a spam punish, but the same principles apply. Had I been attacking when he began to wind up, I would have to stop and defend. His combo is over, so I begin attacking. I stop attacking as he initiates his spam punish. Too bad my defenses also need some work. And that's why I call it the spam punish. I should have stopped, but I got greedy and took a hammer to the skull for it. As you can see, even this type of enemy will stagger if you do enough damage, and this lets you in a few more hits, though how many is going to depend. Basically, attack until you think they're about to attack you again. Remember, don't get greedy. Let's do this one more time. He does an enhanced attack, but it's the only move in his combo, so I sneak in and hit. Since I waited so long, I can only get in one, but no biggie. Same deal here, but I go for 2 hits this time. And again. Okay, now he's throwing a full combo of enhanced attacks, so I parry through them. And there you have it. So, does it get any harder?
Well, duh.
Maybe an enemy will use an enhanced attack in the combat loop. Or maybe that move that normally ends their turn didn't end it just yet. Makiris normally end the opponent's turn, but I can think of a few enemies that will continue even after you Makiri them, so stay on your toes for any changes. Also, how an enemy fights is not dependent on their size. There are some giants that you will stagger after you parry them, and there are some small guys that will keep swinging even after you hit them. So remember the basics. Engage the combat loop. If during their turn the enemy attacks in a manner you don't recognize, it's a special attack, likely a combo of enhanced, so parry through it and take your turn when it's over. And if they suddenly wind up for an attack in the middle of your turn, it's a spam punish, so hold attacking and defend. These are just the basics, and combat will build off of this. So, keep your mind open for what the battlefield has to teach you. Good luck, ninjas!